Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us. K&A Custom Crafts on Facebook.
Oh, sorry, I was getting a nice little jog in. It felt like I was running a marathon at an incredible pace. Sorry, I was getting that jog going. But welcome to the Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. I am Ace, and of course tonight we are joined by none other than, well, we all like that little bit of bacon, right? So we all love it, cooked. So we call it that little crispy and bacon. How's it going tonight, my man?
Going good. How's everybody doing tonight?
Fantastic. I gotta, come back down a little bit. I just ran a marathon at a credible pace. And then, of course, we have Mr. J-Mac, the bearded one. How's it going tonight, my man?
It's going pretty good. I got one question for Chris. Have you tried frying bacon naked yet?
No, I have not. No.
By the way, hold up that sign you held up last night, man. That was a great sign. He's got it, Ace. You got to see this one. He finally got one. The man, the myth, the legend.
Yep. Been waiting for it. I'm glad it's there. I'm glad that you have one now.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty cool.
Other than that, J-Mac, it sounds like your night's going fantastic. So, welcome to another episode of Sports Minute. We couldn't wait to get to this one tonight because, we have a lot to cover. Especially, I want to talk to you about that bad man of Graham Mertz. I'm just kidding. I really don't have anything to say about Graham Mertz, so I'm going to go ahead and just pass that along here. And for any of your Badgers fans, because now I'm a Badgers fan, just so everybody knows, so don't get offended when I say that Graham Mertz is trash, okay? Because I can say that because I am a Badgers fan, and the dude is trash. So, anyway, I wanted to start out with this interesting scenario. So, Chris, before we came live, I was kind of talking to you a little bit about this. I thought this was interesting, that we could potentially end up with a 3-team, potentially even a 4-team tie in the wild card race in the AL. So think about this. If the Red Sox and Yankees lose tomorrow and the Mariners and the Jays win tomorrow, we have a 4-way tie in the wild card.
Well, right. So think about that. And then think about in the NL, you have the Dodgers and Giants that are a game apart, that both have over 100 wins, and one of them is going to be a wild card team. And you have a team in the Atlanta Braves that are only going to play 161 games because they won the division and don't have to play the 167th game against a canceled game against the Rockies. My only point for bringing all that up is it's been a wild friggin' year in baseball. My goodness.
It has.
Damn. All of those scenarios, you're talking a 4-way tie, you're talking 2 teams win 100 games in the same division, one's a wild card, and then a team win a division by playing 161 games. That's a lot. That's a lot to take all in at the same time for a baseball season. It really is.
I know, and I'm telling you, when you break this down like statistically and analytically, it's kind of interesting because if you finish with the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Blue Jays, and the Mariners all in a 4-way tie, imagine how that's going to go, man. Now, if you have a 3-way tie, it's going to come into a lot of different scenarios there because of the simple fact that if you have a 4-way tie, you can kind of break it up to where the 2 teams have to play each other to kind of get in, and the other one plays or whatever. But if you got a 3-way tie, then it comes down to who's got the better head-to-head, and then it goes. It's just weird. But to break down the scenario of how any of these teams can make the playoffs, this is how any of these 4 teams can actually make it. So when you look at the AL side, you have the Red Sox, the Yankees, and the Blue Jays, and the Mariners who are vying for a playoff spot in the AL. So if the Red Sox and Yankees win tomorrow, it's that simple. If they both win tomorrow, or if the Blue Jays and the Mariners lose tomorrow, they're both out. But if the Red Sox and Yankees lose, and the Jays win, and the Mariners win, 4-way tie. But I don't know. This is just interesting, man. There's just all different types of scenarios that can pan out here. I mean, it's crazy.
Makes your brain hurt. Just
It's
thinking
crazy.
about it.
But when you look at it on the side of like schedule wise, who has the advantage? Well, right now the Yankees are playing virtually pretty much the best team in the American League. Well, people call them the best team because you have the Astros and the Rays who are actually going for like the two best records in the American League. But I kind of put the Rays a little bit ahead of the Astros because they're a good team. The Rays are a really good team.
Yeah.
And then you have the Blue Jays who are playing the Orioles, so I kind of give them the upper hand. You have the Mariners who are playing the Angels. You have the Red Sox who are it's escaping me who the dang Red Sox are playing. Dang it, why can't I remember? Okay, I'm trying to remember. But anyways, let me get to a few of these comments quick here. So, of course, we have Isaiah who's jumping in saying, what's up, guys? What's up, Isaiah? Hope you're having a great night. Christy Wilson saying, hey, guys. Hey, Christy. How's it going? And, yes, thank you, Isaiah. It is the Nats. I knew they were playing somebody. I couldn't remember it, but I knew it wasn't a very good team. And Christy saying a 4-way tie. Interesting. Then Joanne is on here saying hello. So, hello, Joanne. How's your night going? Hope you're having a fantastic night. So, anyways. J-Mac, I'm going to start with you on this wild scenario that we have going down in the American League right now. Throwing the National League aside because we already know the teams that are going to be playing in the playoffs in the National League. We just don't know who's going to be division winner yet between the Giants and the Dodgers. But if you look at the American League, what two teams are you taking to actually make it into that wild card spot?
If I have to choose two American League teams, I want to choose anybody except the Yankees and the Red Sox.
Right. I know you want to take those two, but I'm telling you, this is what I wanted. I did not want to see the Yankees make it. I was okay with the Red Sox and the M's and the Blue Jays. Any of those three teams making it, I was okay with it. As long as the Yankees choked it away, I was even better for it. And that could virtually be possible. It could still happen. But, Chris, how about you? What two teams are you taking?
Who is the third team? I know Yankees, Red Sox, and who else?
Jays.
You not listening, Chris?
It's the Blue Jays
Oh,
and the Rays. It's the Blue Jays
No,
and
I
the
was.
Rays.
Oh, okay.
No, it's the Blue Jays and the Mariners.
Oh yeah, sorry,
Okay.
not the Rays, the Mariners, because I was talking about the Rays. So the Rays are like one of the best teams in baseball. But yeah, it's the Mariners. One of those teams that nobody saw coming. Nobody saw this team going.
I'd like to see the
doing this
Mariners
good.
get in. I'd like to see the Mariners get in. I mean,
Yeah, to snap that playoff drought.
yeah.
Are you taking them? Are you
I'm
taking them?
taking them. Yeah, I'm taking them.
And what other team?
We'll go Red Sox.
Oh man, you're breaking my heart here, Chris. You're breaking my heart. I wanted to pick the Rays. Like I was saying, Rays. Not the Rays. Dang it. The Blue Jays and the Mariners were like the two teams I wanted to make it in, but I think either the Red Sox or Yankees are going to make because I think one of those teams are going to win tomorrow. One of them are. I just have a feeling one of them are going to do it. And if I had to pick a team, I think it's going to be the Red Sox. And keep in mind, if the Red Sox win, they're in. So that's the first thing to think about there. But, J-Mac, then we look at the National League side, and it's coming down between the Dodgers and the Giants. Who's going to take this?
I think the Giants got it. I don't think the Giants are going to give up the spot. Like I brought up last night, the Dodgers are, well, as of last night, they were 40-18 in their last 58 games, and they've gained one game in the West.
So, right.
The Giants are playing out of their minds also, so.
So I want to give you a little bit of score update here. Something that people probably did not see coming. I just got the alert. The Seattle Mariners just lost the lead to the LA Angels. So the LA Angels are now beating the Seattle Mariners 4-3 in the top of the 8th with 2 outs. So I'm sorry, Tim.
Them up.
I'm sorry, Tim. We were picking them for you. We said the M's, but I'm sorry they're about to blow this lead. All right, so Christy Wilson saying, I wouldn't be mad if the Mariners made it, but of course I'll be cheering for the Red Sox. And then John is saying, how about them Longhorns? So
That was
there
impressive.
you go. He's bringing up the Longhorns again. I kind of
Why do we have to talk about the
them.
Longhorns?
Because we were ragging on them like 2 weeks ago, and then they came out and put up a beatdown last week, and then they looked good again today. So
Okay, so they're going to go where? They're going to win the Big 12
and then of course Tim Fielder's saying, "Don't say it, Ace. I'm sorry, Tim. I had to." But anyways, since John brought up the Longhorns, we have to just touch a little bit on the Longhorns. How can you not? Chris, Longhorns are your team. Longhorns are your
Pretty
team.
easy. I just don't talk to them.
So tell me, what do you think of your Longhorns now?
I mean, they're doing good. They won 2 Big 12 games in a row. They're 4-1, leading up to the Texas OU game next week. So,
Chris.
yeah.
I'm going to help you out for just a second, okay? So you just said, and I quote, they've won 2 Big 12 games in a row.
Yeah.
Big 12.
Right.
Parentheses behind that should be nobody cares. So, no one cares that they won 2 Big 12 games in a row. Other than Oklahoma, name one other good team in the Big 12.
That's pretty much it.
So, if they lose to Oklahoma, that's the one they got to beat Oklahoma to even have any legitimacy, I think.
All right. Well, this is the other one that I want to talk about, and I know I'm going to get a lot of flack on this. I know I am. I'm going to get a lot of backlash, but it's coming anyways, and there's only a reason it's coming. There's only one reason why I want to talk about this, because on my timeline, I have a lot of Oregon Duck fans. Okay, a lot of them. And we know that today the Ducks lost to Stanford. As soon as the Ducks lost, I mean, my timeline legitimately just blew up. And when I started reading my timeline and people were messaging me going, when you're on Sports Minute tonight, you have to talk about this. And this is the reason why I have to talk about it. Because this is disgusting. Because the Ducks never would have lost if the refs wouldn't have cheated them from a win. And I'm sitting there going, you know what? The Ducks were down 17-7 in the first half. That had nothing to do with the referees in the first half. Nothing to do. You were down by 10 points in the first half. The moral of the story is you have to play better. Okay, so there might have been some questionable calls on the final drive. I get that. But what game does not have questionable calls? Every single football game you have is going to have questionable calls. So you cannot sit there and blame the referees and say, we lost because the referees cheated us from the game. Absolutely not. It had nothing to do with that. How about when the Ducks had a 4th and goal? I don't know if you guys saw this, but how about this? The Ducks have a 4th and goal. And what do they do? They line Brown up, their quarterback, they line Brown up from the shotgun, and they do a quarterback sneak from the shotgun on a 4th and goal.
No.
That's a problem. That's a horrible play call. So, J-Mac, I think you're with me on this. Doesn't it bug you when people start immediately going, oh, it's the refs, it's the refs. We lost because of the referees.
Yep, that always bothers me. Here's what I'm going to tell you. You lost the game because you play in the Pac-12, and a Pac-12 team is not meant to be in the Final Four. It's just not the way it is. Pac-12 football is not meant to be championship football. And you guys, I'm going to hear so much slack from that, and I wish Vic was here to hear it because I would tell her the same thing. Pac-12 football is not meant to be college championship football. It's just not the way it is. So they're not going to win a national championship. They're not going to be in the top 4. That's just not what they're built to do. Any team in the Pac-12 can beat any team any week, and that's why that is. There's no dominant team in the Pac-12. So stop blaming the refs. Go out and become the dominating team if you want to win the Pac-12. That's just...
I mean, even when you see, like professional sports teams, and you understand that there's bad calls in games, there is, but you see coaches afterwards go, "Hey, we don't want to sit up here and listen to the media ask us a question about the refs. We're not concerned about that." Because they'll always tell you it wasn't the refs who lost the game for us. It was ourselves. We lost the game for us because we didn't play good enough. We didn't play good enough to win. And
Right.
basically what it is was the Ducks just kind of went into that careful mode towards the end. Like they took the lead and they did not keep their pedal, like they didn't keep their foot on the gas. They didn't. That was the problem.
They're too confident. It sounds like, like it sounds like to me they're like, we got the lead. We don't have to, do much.
No, they just weren't. They didn't do enough to put the game away, and that's what it was. You have to keep your foot on the gas in order to keep it going, and they didn't do that. They failed to do that tonight, and that's what cost the Oregon Ducks. It was not the referees. Like, I got a bunch of backlash when I started typing that, going, I don't want to hear anything about the referees. Man, like those fools were attacking me. Like, they were legitimately attacking me when I told them to stop blaming the referees because of the Ducks loss. Man, they started attacking me, and I was like, well, I'm speaking the truth. It has nothing to do with the referees. It was how you play the game. But we have a few comments.
It's how you play the game.
Exactly, it's how you play the game, because you play to win the game. That's what it is. But so
playoffs.
So we have a comment coming in from Isaiah. He's saying, exactly, only I can blame refs for.
You know what? Why do we even put this stupid shit up on the screen? Like, we don't. Why?
Right. And then Christy Wilson is saying the Pac-12 is trash. I mean, when it comes down to it, the Pac-12 is one of those teams that you kind of hope that one of those teams can kind of make a leap in that year to get in the college football playoffs. But then they get there and they get ranked in the top 4. And then once they get ranked in the top 4, they blow it. But the thing is, it's something about Stanford against the Ducks. Like, Stanford is like their kryptonite or something. I don't know what it is, but Stanford has their number. And Frank is saying, what's the talk now? Casey King is saying Pac-12 is a joke and wide open, nobody dominating. Stanford earned that win. Absolutely. Absolutely. Stanford earned that win. Like, they came out, they were ready to go. They were ready to play that game. They had the Ducks number. That's what they did. They came out with the game plan. They executed it perfectly. And then Frank is saying, did not know we play to win the game. Tell that to the Jets. Absolutely. And Frank, I'm glad you brought that up. I don't know if you're a Jets fan, Frank. I don't know if you are. And I apologize if me talking, badly about the Jets offends you in any way. But, my opinion based upon the Jets right now is that somehow they actually got worse. When they drafted Zach Wilson, they thought they were going to be better. And they actually went out and got a few receivers like, oh, this Jets team is going to be better. They're going to win a few more games. They actually got worse.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny you bring that up. Chris knows this. We were talking about it last night on the radio show, how there's a couple teams you could say are the worst team in football, but at least, like, you had the Jaguars compete all the way through a game on Thursday, all the way to the fourth quarter. They were at least in the game. The Jets haven't been competitive in any game they've played in this year at all.
Yeah.
The Jets are the worst team in football, and it's not even close.
Yeah, to me, when Zach Wilson was going to be the second quarterback taken, I just didn't think that was going to be good. I was like, no, I think that Zach Wilson was hyped up just a little too much. But we're kind of seeing it now, too, that it's kind of the same way with Trevor Lawrence, too. Trevor Lawrence, I think, was a little bit too much hyped up. Zach Wilson, I think, was a little bit too much hyped up. This rookie class this year just has not been good so far. I know it's early in the season, but so far they have not been good.
I mean, combined, they only got 1 win. Combined.
And Frank is saying the Jets are about 10, but they've been a bad team for over 40 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
They have no.
they've been bad for a
bad
long
team.
time.
Yeah.
A bad team for a long time. The Jets, I believe, I was looking this up the other day, and this is crazy to think about. Insane. So, in my lifetime, which is pushing 40 years now, in my lifetime, the Jets have had 8 winning seasons. In my lifetime. 8.
Yeah, and Chad Pennington was there once.
I was gonna say I started when like Pennington was quarterback for New York.
And I agree
So-
with Frank. Like, yeah, they're on the
Jets are the
championship for being the worst team for 40 years.
Yeah, they are. But you know what? You have to give a lot of Jets fans credit because they are loyal and they're sticking in there with their team.
By the way, quick update: the Angels are at 4-3, but it's the bottom of the 8th inning, and the Mariners have first and second with none out.
Well, then it'll definitely be good.
No hope.
It'll be. There is hope. There is hope.
Just
So, Casey King is saying Jets have been cursed since they left Shea Stadium. Yeah, I mean, since about then. And Christy will sing, I feel bad for some family members of mine who are Jets fans. You know, it's hard to say that you feel bad for them. I get it though, but when you look at like bad luck around the NFL, you think about the Jets, you think about the Lions, you think about the Cleveland Browns, because the Cleveland Browns have just started becoming relevant. But you feel bad for the Detroit Lions because they've done like nothing, absolutely nothing.
Diddly poo.
Yeah, they've done nothing, and then you have the Houston Texans, which I get, they're the newest team there, but they haven't really done much either. But you kind of have to give the Houston Texans a little bit of a pass because they're like the newest team, and the Jaguars. The Jaguars are one of the newer teams, and they haven't made it to a Super Bowl either. So it's like
they came close, but Jacksonville has. But.
Yeah, if only they had a different quarterback than Blake Bortles. That's all I could say.
Yeah.
If they would have had any other quarterback but Blake Bortles, or Jared Goff, they probably would have made the Super Bowl.
Let's not forget, though, too, that, their first year and actually their second year, they actually ended up making the playoffs with Mark Brunell as their quarterback. So, and that was when they had that really good offense, but they couldn't get past the second round. But you know what? The Jaguars and the Jets, they're going to eventually get there. It's going to take them time.
They play later in the season, by the way. I think it's like week 13, week 14 they play. So if they don't have their first win by then, someone will get their first win. Or their first non-loss, and it'll be a tie.
They're going to have a win by then. Both teams, I'm sure, will have a win by then. I know people realistically sit here and talk about how, these teams are going to go 0-17 because, the extra game this year. There's legitimately like one team, though, that we forget that is also 0-3, that their schedule ahead is not easy, and that is the New York Giants.
Yeah.
Their schedule coming up is not easy.
I mean, yeah, and you want to talk about bad luck. There's 2 0-3 teams that have had the worst luck this year. That's the Giants and the Lions. I mean, the Lions lost a game on a 66-yard field goal. That's just bad luck.
Very bad luck.
And the Giants, it just seems like every week. I mean, Darius Shepard right in the middle of the freaking field is the wide open touchdown. That might have been 2 weeks ago, but my goodness.
That was Slayton actually.
Oh,
that
I'm
was
sorry, Darius
Slayton.
Slayton. Yes, I said the wrong last name, but
Yeah.
open. I mean, there's no one within 20 yards of him, and he just drops the ball for what would have been a touchdown. That's
But
so
those
crazy.
0-3 or 0-4 teams, whoever has the better record, heading into those matchups, you kind of have to be, scared to face those winless teams because, they're waiting for a win.
Yeah, it's. But that's why we call them trap games, Chris. That's why when it
Well,
comes
yeah.
down to it, they're called trap games. Because when you look at that, you always hate it when you're like a team that's just rolling along really well, and then it comes to it, and then you're like, oh crap, we're playing this 0-9 team, and we're sitting at 8-1, and people expect you to come in and blow them out.
Ooh.
Well,
happened?
I'm guessing we just got some news here because J-Mac just got super excited about something. So.
Oh man, it was
Wait
a
a
play at
minute.
the it was a play at the plate, and I don't think the catcher. It was a force at the plate, and I don't think the catcher had his foot on home plate. But they called the runner out on the force, but now they're reviewing it, and it would be 4-4, and if he's safe, the bases are loaded, and it's 4-4 with one out. I don't know. It's so close. It's so close.
So those plays are really nerve-wracking, man. Like, but the replays though, when you look at the replays, those get interesting too because they sometimes miss the call on replays too.
Yeah.
Oh, they called him out. Oh man. So now it's bases loaded with 2 outs and 4-3 game.
Oh boy. Well,
You know what's funny about Major League Baseball replay is I took a picture that they had of the Atlanta Braves, and it was a game a while ago. Adam Duvall sliding into second base, and it clearly shows that he's safe at second, and the glove's this far above him. And all I did was sent it to this guy I know that kind of watches baseball, but he's not a big baseball fan. And I just sent him the picture, and I'm like, one word, out or safe. And he's like, well, he's safe. He's safe all day. I don't really. And I'm like, yeah, it got called out on the play and out on replay. And he's like, that's just stupid.
Who knows? It's hard to say. But the one thing that I wanted to talk about, and that J-Mac, I'm surprised you haven't brought it up yet because this started. We have had the WNBA playoffs going on, and there has been some great games going on. I will say I was a little disappointed in the way the Las Vegas Aces played the other day. We got I should say we got steamrolled by Phoenix the other day. We won game one.
That was Diana Taurasi's 30-point game. She's the oldest player in WNBA history with a 30-point game.
Yeah, and that game was not even that game wasn't even close. We beat them in game one, but they came out in game two, and Phoenix just took it to us, and they were ready. And I give them props. I give them props on that for sure. Tomorrow night, the Aces get to play again, and I'm very, very excited for that game. It's on at 7 p.m. Pacific tomorrow on ESPN if you want to catch it. Game 3 of Las Vegas versus Phoenix, but we also have a few other series going on here. J-Mac, what series right now or have you been really looking at?
In the WNBA?
Yes.
Really since Seattle wasn't in the playoffs, since they kind of got bounced from the playoffs, I'll admit I haven't watched as closely as I usually do when the playoffs are on. But it's been interesting. I really think that the Mercury are going to do something this year. I think that they're finally going to get out of their own way, if you will. They've done that over time, so probably the Mercury's the one team I'm looking at. That's the team that I think should actually finally get over that leap, get over that thing, if you will. Yeah,
I'm
kind of
telling
crazy,
you
but
though, I keep telling you this is the Aces year, but I keep getting bashed on about that. But Mariners lead. So Casey King just said the Mariners lead 5-4.
yes,
So
because Mitch Hannigan, who has all 5 of their RBIs tonight, all 5. He's got a 2-run homer, a single, and now he just got a single again to drive in 2 runs. He's got all 5 RBIs for the Mariners.
so since we touched on the WNBA a little bit, this brings up an interesting subject that even Chris.
Yeah.
I kind of bring up to you though too with you, J Mac. So I was kind of thinking about this. So the other day when the Braves ended up sweeping the Phillies to take the NL East and everything, and then they come out on Friday against the Mets, and this is where you know they go, we're going to go ahead and give Freeman the night off. We're going to give Swanson the night off, and they start and Soler. So they start giving a lot of their starters the night off to let their bench players play. Do you feel like in baseball, when you know that you're already in the playoffs, do you feel like this is the right time to be doing it? If you know you're in and you know you're not going to be the number 1 seed, you already know who you're facing in round 1. It's not going to change regardless of if you win or lose. Is this the right time? And Jay, also with you.
Sure, I'll go with something. I believe it was Jeff Francoeur who was on the broadcast yesterday, and he was talking about in that game against the Mets, and he was saying that giving, if you got 3 games left, giving each of your starters one day off in those 3 games. Like Freeman played tonight, but he didn't play yesterday, and Swanson played tonight and didn't play yesterday. Tonight you gave Riley the night off, and you kind of take turns on giving everyone the night off. I don't think that hurts anything because now they have an extra day of rest before the playoffs start.
Right.
And pitching, I think, is super important. You have to pitch to be consistent. You have to consistently pitch. And so even though we know that Charlie Morton is going to be the game 1 starter, I do think I'd like to see him come in tomorrow and go 2 or 3 innings just to get some work in, just to do that. Maybe him 2 or 3, bring in Fried for 2 or 3 innings, just to keep them consistent on their pitching. But I think it's okay. I don't think you're going to sit them all 3 games. I don't think sitting anyone all 3 games is a good idea. But I think giving, rotating and giving giving a guy 1 day off in the last 3 games of the year, I don't think that really hurts anything.
No, but they've kind of done that with Soler. He's been out for 2 games. They've given him a break for 2 games, and they've been using Peterson instead of him. And tonight they gave Adam Duvall the night off too. So
yeah, you're in an interesting situation in Atlanta though. You named the last team that's had 5 starting caliber five starting caliber outfielders. Like there hasn't been one. You could start Peterson, Duvall, Soler, Rosario, and I know I'm missing one. But you could start any of those guys in the outfield.
Heredia.
Yeah. Heredia is not a great offensive player. Let's not beat around the bush about that.
No, but he's got a great glove.
But he's got a cannon for an arm, and he's really fast in center field. So he's a great center fielder defensively. But you got 5 guys that can start in the outfield on any given night, and so the guys are gonna sit sometimes. But I think it's the right time to give Duvall the night off, give Soler a couple nights off, switch Freddie and Austin. Austin played first base last night. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Dansby, I don't know. He's got to play to be consistent. You saw he took the night off last night, and he sailed one right over Freeman's head into the dugout tonight. So, but yeah, I think it's okay. I think it's okay.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, Chris, I was going to say.
No, I was going to say I kind of agree. I mean, you don't want to sit them out every day, but they need to do. They need to be in the game a little bit more and kind of warm up before the playoffs.
Yeah. So and don't forget they gave Ozzy the night off too. So
That's true. That's true.
yeah.
They did. They
So
played Orlando Arcia.
yeah. So they have been giving pretty much virtually their starters just being like, "Hey, we're gonna rest you," and they've even gave Travis Darno two consecutive games off also. So
I got to tell you though, if William Contreras, they need to work with him on passed balls and wild pitches, and I completely agree. They need to work with him defensively. Offensively, his numbers are comparable with Travis Darno's. To be honest, he's hit 8 homers. He's got 27 RBIs. He's hitting in the 220s, but still, offensively, he's got the talent to definitely be a good everyday catcher, or at least in platooning. He just needs to work on his defense. But I'm a big William Contreras fan. If he can work on the passed balls, I think he can do good things in the major leagues.
So we know, like you said, that Morton is starting game 1. We know that Fried is starting game 2. Game 3 will be Ian Anderson if we need a game 3 because we're going against the Brewers. But if there's ever needed a game 4, like when we get to the best of 7, there's been a few grumblings and talkings about exactly what Atlanta wanted to do, either go with Morton on short rest, or they were talking about doing what they did tonight and bringing in Jesse Chavez to start the first 2 innings, and then bring in a starter and Drew Smiley after that and let him pitch 3. And so that's kind of what they were talking about, going with the bullpen game first, and you start with your bullpen guy and then bring in another guy. So I don't know.
I personally, I like it. I like what they've been doing with Drew Smiley starts, because the last 3 times that they've done it for him, he's 3-0. He hasn't lost a game. He hasn't lost a game when they've done a bullpen game,
and he's pitched well.
And he's pitched well. And Tom Glavine hit something on it when he was on there, and he said there's something about the first inning that gives you a lot of pressure as a starter when you're trying to go out there. You're trying not to give up the lead. And you're trying to make your stuff work, where if you have a guy like Chavez go out there and pitch the first 2 innings, believe me, Jesse Chavez, he's an original gangster, and he's not scared of nothing. He's going to go out there and he's going to play his game no matter if it's the first inning or the 7th inning. So he's going to go out there and just pitch the ball. And that's what I think that's where they need to go, because, like I said, Drew Smiley's 3-0 since they've done that. So he's pitched well.
All right, so Chris, I know the season's over for your team, but that's okay. I'll let you, give everybody a little bit of an update on your Texas Rangers.
Not much to update. I mean, we're closing out the season. Hopefully, things go better next year. I don't know, but hopefully they do better. Yeah.
You guys have a long ways to go, and the Mariners just scored again, so it's 6-4 now.
6-4, they got guys on second and third with 2 outs. So maybe they can add a few more runs on the board.
All right, so J-Mac, I'm going to turn this over to you. Is there a topic that you wanted to touch on?
I mean, there's a few things going on. The NHL is back in full swing, and then the preseason, or exhibition games as they call them, and it's going to be an interesting NHL season this year. I look for some teams to make an impact. By the way, at the end of the 8th inning, the Mariners guy struck out, so it's 6-4 at the bottom and going to the top of the ninth. But the NHL season is going to be interesting. I'm really intrigued for what the season's going to bring. We're hoping to bring a hockey show to the network. I just want everyone to know that is in the works. We're hoping to have that up and going by the regular season starting, where we can come in, and kind of update you every day on the scores and the standings and the points and tell you all everything that's going on there. But hockey's one of those things that people forget it's a major sport, but it's one of the 4 big sports in America, and it's got a huge following. And it truly to me, hockey is truly the one sport that in America that we could say you honestly win a world championship, because you actually have teams from another country that compete with us, and that's Canada. So it's definitely an interesting season. But I'm interested to see all these young players come out. A lot of good young players in the league right now, and I'm intrigued to see how all of them do. Can the Maple Leafs be as good as they were last year? Can the Dallas Stars stay on top in the West? Are the Golden Knights going to take over in the West? Something like that.
Like
Are they going to
Seattle.
do all that?
Will we see Seattle be like the Golden
Right.
Knights?
Right.
But I know it's preseason. But the Detroit Red Wings undefeated, baby. Undefeated. I know it's preseason, but I got to enjoy this while it's going on.
Yeah.
I got to enjoy it while it's going. We're actually winning something now. And Christy Wilson is saying, go Vegas Golden Knights. So, the Golden Knights do have some fans out there for being a new team, but they're pretty much competitive every single year. So I still look to them as they're going to be a competitive team. Chris, we know your Dallas Stars. They're going to be a competitive hockey team also. I look forward to – I think this is going to be a very crazy hockey season. I think it's going to be very, very competitive. As much as the Lightning have been good the last 2 seasons, they're definitely not going to be as good this year. But
no, I think hockey's truly one of those sports where any team can be good any year. You got teams every year that makes the playoffs that didn't make it the year before. Unless you're the Buffalo Sabres. But I think it's going to be a great year. I'm excited. I'm excited to see where the year goes. And hockey has always had a soft place in my heart. Always will. It's just, it's a great sport. It's so fun to watch. Yeah, it's so fun to watch for me. Chris, give us your take on the NHL, man. Do you like hockey? Do you watch hockey?
I do. I try to catch hockey when I can. I mean, it's kind of like the other sports besides football where it's, every day. But I try to catch as much as I can.
Yeah. No, hockey is great, and it's kind of funny when you when you get, and I'm sure you guys have experienced this before. When you try and talk to people, go, oh man, I can hold a conversation with you about sports. And then like when they start saying the dumbest things, like that doesn't even pertain to the sport that we're even talking about. And so now you're just making it sound really, really bad. Like when somebody refers to a hockey stick as a club.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're like,
or when they're like, oh, we're gonna meet at the middle of the rink, and you're like, okay, so center ice. You have no idea what the hell you're talking about. Yeah, my favorite one when they talk about hockey is, when they decide who gets the puck and they flip the puck to see what side it lands on. No, I don't know that because that's not what the hell happens.
Right.
And to me, the greatest, that's the greatest thing about hockey. The fact that you fight out to see who gets the puck first. Like it's dropped and 2 guys are there fighting over the puck.
The face-off is the best. The face-off.
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, the face-off is the best for sure.
I do want to touch on this really quick because Nate actually brought this up. But I'm telling you, though, this is actually a very underrated sport. And he's talking about cricket. And I know people will laugh and be like, really, cricket? But the thing is, it's very underrated because just think like these guys are like basically real baseball players that don't use gloves. They don't use gloves.
Right.
And these, I mean, those things are hit hard too. And they don't use gloves. J-Mac, you look thrilled. So.
Well, no, here's my problem with cricket, though. I can't follow it. Because
I can't either.
They like hit the ball and then they're like, oh, it goes off the wall and then he goes to get it and then now they're running back and forth. Okay, so now the score's 212-98. Wait, what the hell just happened?
Right. Well, cricket hasn't really done that for me. It's more along the lines of like rugby. That is.
I like rugby.
No, rugby's fun to watch, but it confuses you. And the only reason I'm saying that is because a team, the offensive team, so to say, they have the ball and they're like running, and then they stop and then they kick it, and the other team recovers it, and then they pick it up and they kick it back, and you're like, what is going on right now? Why are they kicking this ball back and forth? I don't understand.
No,
They
you're right.
can't stop for so long, otherwise it's like.
Well, right, I get that, Chris, but the part what Ace is saying is you're like watching this game and you're watching the action, and then all of a sudden you look at the scoreboard and you're like, wait a minute, how is it 22-16? I don't understand how the scoring works.
Right.
Yeah, you don't. But sometimes though too, you get confused because the guy is like running with the ball and then he just stops and kicks it, and you're like, is it fourth down? Is it like like what the heck just happened? So I've been trying to watch cricket a little bit more so I can try and understand it, because that's like the one sport right now that I think would be fun to watch and it'd be fun to learn, but it's just confusing because scoring and I don't know. It's just weird. So Chris, how much you actually follow rugby though?
I catch it here and there. I watched a little in the Olympics, and they've done some tournament stuff on TV, I think, for college. And then I think they had like a national like rugby league. I try to catch it when I can, but
well, then maybe you can explain this a little bit more, on the whole aspect of why teams kick the ball when they're running with it and they just stop and kick it. Like, I don't.
I think it's been a while since I watched, but I think you have to advance it. You have to keep advancing the ball. You can't just keep stopping. Otherwise, it's like some kind of penalty. I can't remember
Did you just say? Like
No, you can't stop.
Isn't the object to advance the ball? Like
Yeah.
you're saying you can't advance the ball anymore, so you have to punt it. But the point is to advance the ball. So I don't.
Or you can't throw it. You can either toss it to another player, or you can kick it.
Wait. Okay. So let me understand. You can't throw the ball, but you have to toss it.
Right.
What? So you can't throw the ball, but you have to toss it.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm confused, homie. I'm confused.
I'll send you the video. It's been a while since I've watched.
No, So Randy's saying field hockey is great to watch. Guys get blown up.
field hockey is played by women.
Right. So it kind of reminds me of the show I watched, right? And for those of you who've seen King of Queens, awesome show, very very funny. And Doug is talking with this guy, and he's like, "Hey man, let's talk a little bit about sports." And he's like, "NFL?" And the guy's like, and he's like, "John Elway?" And he's like, "Who?" And he's like, "John Elway." And he's like, "Yeah, I don't know who that is." And Doug's like, "Oi," and then he walks away, and it comes back and he shows him talking, and he's like, give me something. Tell me, what can I work with here? And the guy's like, "Well, I like to watch swimming." And Doug's like, "Oh, crap." It's like, "You call me, I don't know." So then he gets frustrated and walks away. I mean, that's kind of what it would be to me when I'm trying to hold a conversation about sports. Somebody's like, "I could talk to you about swimming." All right, well, I get it's a sport, but I don't know what to tell you. Like, I don't know. So Nate's saying there are 4 main ways to score in rugby league. A try is 4 points. A try is worth 4 points. I get that. The maximum number of points you can score in one go in rugby league, goal kick, 2 points. What? Okay, I'm
already done. Like I don't even want to.
I'm already confused. A penalty is 2 points, and a drop goal is 1 point. So I'm guessing that's more like a drop kick. So I don't know. A team is awarded a goal kick after a try has been scored. But the point is when do you score? Like that's the I don't know.
The try is the score. It's like a touchdown, pretty much. The try is like the touchdown.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, just yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's fine because I get that the goal or whatever is the score, the try is the score, but you're not telling us how do you score. That's the thing. How do you score?
Basically, run with the ball, either trying to toss it to one of your players. Or
But you
kick
just
it.
said you can't advance it that far. You have to
can't.
kick it.
Right.
So-
I'm confusing myself.
exactly, Chris. Thank you very much. But what's up? Welcome in, Dave. Welcome in, buddy. How's it going? Yes, the Mariners won. That is excellent here. And yes, Chris, you missed our great debate that we were talking a little bit about rugby. Confuses crap. Trying to figure this whole rugby thing out, just confusing as crap. But anyway, all right, Chris, I'm going to go to you. Was there something you wanted to touch on sport-wise?
Tomorrow's the,
Week 4 of NFL.
Yeah, week 4 of the NFL. What big games are you looking forward to watching?
Oh, boy, this is going to be interesting. And the reason I'm saying that is because there's actually some good games that I'm looking forward to tomorrow in general. Look at the NFC West, man. There's a lot of games going, especially in the NFC West. They're all pretty much playing each other tomorrow because you have Seattle going up against San Fran. You have the Rams going up against the Cardinals. I think those are going to be two very, very good games. You definitely have the Rams, who are just like a killer team. And I know, Chris, you're saying the Chiefs versus Eagles. That game's not going to entice me at all. And the reason for it is because the Chiefs, I think, are just going to absolutely obliterate the Eagles. I don't even think it's going to be close. And because number one, the Chiefs are going to come in, they're going to be angry, and they're going to have a lot to play for. And the way that the Eagles played last week, they did not play good. Okay, their offense wasn't there, their defense they were horrid last week. And so I think that the Chiefs are going to absolutely destroy the Eagles. I mean, that's no lie. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think it's going to be close.
The Eagles didn't have a running game Monday night.
They had nothing. Had nothing. Their defense didn't show up. Their offense didn't show up. It was
Nate, stop, man. I don't care.
Dave is saying Brady returning to New England. He was excited about that game. We all know that Gronkowski is not playing tomorrow. And Jason Pierre-Paul is not playing tomorrow. But without Gronk playing, does that really make it that big of a difference? No, not really. They're still loaded on offense. And I know not a lot of New England fans are looking forward to this. I don't know why. I think the Buccaneers are just going to steamroll the Patriots, to be perfectly honest, because they might have a decent defense, but they don't have a great defense, and they don't have a good enough offense to match score for score with the Buccaneers. They just don't. They don't have that type of offense. J-Mac, what games are you really looking forward to in week 4?
I think I'm looking forward the most to see I'm looking forward to the Chargers game, and I don't even remember who they're playing, but I'm looking most forward to that game because I really want to see if Justin Herbert is really who we've all said he is this year. They
play on Monday night against the Raiders.
Yeah, and so it's going to be a great game. That's just what I think. One interesting NFL note, by the way, for as far as the Jaguars are concerned. So they got rid of a guy in Gardner Minshew who played for them last year. I know they went 1-15, but Gardner Minshew threw 6 interceptions last year, and Trevor Lawrence has thrown 7 in his first 3 games. So let's just keep that in mind.
Yeah, do you know that the interesting stat about the rookie class so far this season, though, that was drafted, they have 9 touchdowns to 18 interceptions. And their first in their first 3 weeks, and they have a combined total of 1 win. So it has not been a stellar start for this rookie class at all. At all. It has not been
Not
good.
at all. Nope.
But anyways, I see it's just about that time. So we'll go around the room one more time. Sitting here playing a little basketball. We playing basketball. All right, J Mac, it'll go ahead and start with you. You got 30, 45 seconds to wrap up whatever it is you want to say.
Real quick, they'll tell you that an OG is an old rapper, but I'll tell you what a real gangster is. It is the married guy that can sit there and when his wife says, "I think the dryer is shrinking my laundry," and he looks at her and goes, "Is it the dryer or the refrigerator?" That's a gangster right there. Because I'm sorry, but that's not the right answer, man. Don't ever say that. Chris, a word of advice: do not ever use that sentence.
Gotcha.
It's not a good one. By the way, catch us on TikTok. I've been uploading some different videos on there, and we are a TikTok sensation thanks to our buddy Mess Around. If you haven't watched that video, you should because it is hilarious. The things that can go wrong when you're live.
Yeah.
TikTok. All right, Chris, how about you?
Thank you guys tuning in. Like the interaction tomorrow. We have the morning tailgate, and then we also have Between the Ropes. So tune in to Coast tomorrow and every day.
That's right. Between the Ropes tomorrow night. And right now, before we call this a show, I'm going to do a little LeBrick. I'm going to take my basketball, pull a little LeBrick. Yep, a little LeBrick. That was an air ball off the toy box, so a little LeBrick. All right. So anyways, I hope all of our viewers enjoyed the night, enjoyed the show, and we'll see you Wednesday night for another episode of Between the Ropes. So we will see you guys later. Peace.